Welcome back, family, to Gamecocks Hoops with Coop, where our mission is to grow the game of women's basketball, starting with our Lady Gamecocks. All right, y'all, Gamecock Nation, we back. We got another game tomorrow, right, where we take on the Auburn Tigers in their arena. Now, let's just keep it 100 from the jump. We are the better team in this matchup. But we know great teams don't win because talent alone. They win because they pay attention to detail and they respect each opponent. So we can't go sleepwalking into this game just because we're the better team. Now, my take on this game is that Auburn isn't going to come in and do anything special. I don't think they're going to upset us, but they are going to compete, right? So we still have to be on point, locked in for each and every game for the remainder of the season. Today on this video, I want to break down the 4 Ps that South Carolina need to do well this game and going forward to look like the South Carolina Gamecocks that we've been used to seeing. The first P is pace, right? We need to control the pace of this game. When we control the pace, we are absolutely at our best. What does that mean? Knowing when to pull the ball back and say, hey, let me slow it down. Let me set up the offense. Or when you get in that quick steal, you say, hey, I got the advantage. It's a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1 situation. We have the numbers. We can push the ball out and run. Now, a team like Auburn, looking at the film, looking at their highlights, they like more of a half-court control game, right? They average around 60-odd points a game. So they like a slower-paced game, controlled half-court set. They like long possession, shooting the ball deep into the shot clock. They want to make you think. They want to break you down over time. So with that in mind, we average 80-something points a game. So we naturally score more points than them. So we need to push when available. Like I was saying, we just not pushing the ball just to push. When you have the advantage, push the ball. When you create a turnover, push the ball. Make them run, right? They're not used to playing that fast type of game. It's not their game. So we want to force them to get uncomfortable while still being in control at the same time. And I think this Auburn team lost by about 7 points to Oklahoma. Now, we know in basketball, that logic doesn't translate into different games. Just because they lost to one team by 7 doesn't mean anything about the next game, because it's all about matchup and what happened during that specific game. But that does let you know that this team can sometimes hang around with some of the top tier teams in the SEC. In the next game, they might get blown out. So you never know what you're going to get. You just need to make sure you're on point and take care of business whenever you're playing this team. The second P we want to cover is pressure. Now, let's talk about Auburn first. Auburn's pressure, from what I see, isn't about gambling. It's about testing the habits that you have as a team. I'm seeing that they jump passing lanes. So if you make a lazy pass, they can possibly jump in and deflect it or steal it. When you drive in, you got to make sure the ball is secure, because they will swipe in whenever you're driving and trying to split the gaps in the defense. And they force ball handlers to make tough decisions. So we don't want to have one of those games where we're turning the ball over 20 plus times. We want to make sure that we have ball security against this team and not give them any kind of momentum or ammunition in front of their home crowd to get this into a tight game. Once we put our foot on the gas, we need to keep it on the gas and apply that pressure to them all night to eventually break them down mentally. And they like, hey, you know, South Carolina, we tried, but we just can't do it. This team is just too much for us, and make them give in. Because we know pressure doesn't beat teams. Poor habits do. The third P is paint, right? And you guys know I was going to go here. This is where our advantage is absolutely clear, and probably the biggest advantage we have against this Auburn team. We have the size, we have the physicality, we have the rim protection, and we're going to have the second chance opportunities, right? We have to dominate, just like we did against Vanderbilt, the post play. We have a way bigger team than them, and we have way better post players than them. So we must get that ball inside and dominate. Okay, you already came back. You did what we all know you can do in Gamecock Nation the last game against Vanderbilt. Now we're moving on to, can we tie this together? Can we put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games together of that same production? You know, getting back to getting those double-doubles every game, being an absolute monster in that paint. That's what we're going to need you to bring each and every game until the end of the season. Same thing with Joyce. Same thing with Turner Beasley. Same thing with Tack. We all need them to be monsters in the paint and display their dominance, their physicality, their size, and impose their will against every other team that we match up with for the rest of the year. Now, Auburn, from what I was looking at on the film, even though they're a good bit smaller than us, they rebound by committee. So we have to be boxing out, paying attention. Their guards crash in from the weak side and still rebound. So, hey, it's a team effort for them. So we still have to pay attention to detail and make sure we're boxing out, because we can't be giving up easy rebounds that we're supposed to secure. And last but not least is poise, right? I feel that this is another separator. Now, we all know basketball is a game of runs. Auburn's going to have their moment. They'll hit a few shots. They're going to play hard behind their crowd. That's why I'm saying let's get the crowd out of it quickly, right? Give them absolutely nothing. You hear me? Nothing to cheer about. Just sitting quiet, eating their popcorn, playing the little games that come on at halftime where they shooting from half court. That's about the only thing you want them to be smiling and happy about. The music, when swag surfing come on, let them do all that. But when that whistle blows, hey, yeah, we don't want you cheering about anything. All right. So, Lady Gamecocks, we got to bring it to demoralize them immediately, because we all know when South Carolina comes to town, the target is always on our back, and those teams are looking for a upset. And us staying poised is going to come down to our leaders like Raven Johnson controlling the tempo, our leading scorer Joyce Edwards letting the game come to her, and still whenever she's double team or covered, like I said on the last game, dishing that thing out to the open shooters, right? Everybody playing within their game. This game is nothing we're going to have to force, and we go down there and take care of business. The scoreboard should reflect our talent compared to this Auburn Tigers team. Now, just from the film, I picked out a few players from Auburn. Number one is Coulibaly, steady scorer, kind of comfortable in a slow-paced half-court offense. Again, respect to this young lady, but she's not anybody like Michaela Blake's. But I mean, she is a scorer, and she plays within the offense pretty well. The next player I picked out was Petticord. I think she's a senior, and she has a mid-range jumper that she can kind of knock down consistently. And last but not least is Duhan. From what I see, she's more like their defensive disruptor and kind of like sparks transitions, right? She'll kind of get their fast break game going through her steals and deflections on the defensive end. Bottom line, if South Carolina does these four things well, controls the pace, values possession, owns the paint, and plays with poise, this will definitely be a double-digit win on the road. Not because Auburn isn't any good, it's because South Carolina is just the more talented team and more disciplined. Now, y'all know I'm not perfect. It's always some things that I miss that I could have pointed out in the video or whenever I was watching the film or highlights. So if it's anything that I should have added to this video, or you see from the Auburn team or from our Lady Gamecocks, man, drop it down in the comments. Talk to me. I talk back. If you enjoyed this video and you want to help grow the game of women's basketball just to get them more exposure, get them higher pay, better NIL deals, we have to keep growing the sport. So if you're behind that mission, hit that like button. Make sure you turn post notifications on. Comment, talk to your boy here. I'm going to be here. I'm going to try to drop a video every single day about Gamecock basketball. So y'all stay tuned. Y'all be blessed. Go Gamecocks.